I believe that we don't play enough, especially as we get into the sort of big children world. Some call that adulting. I don't like that word because it involves sort of scary things like bills and responsibilities. Obviously, slight tongue-in-cheek there, because the stuff that I do is quite serious work, but it can have a playful element. And when you've got play involved, what happens is you get to do deeper work faster, which has a higher retention rate. And so I believe that when we're playing and we're laughing, we're learning better, deeper, and as I said, have a much longer retention rate of the play.
One of my favourite bits of school was the term we spent with, I can't remember what they called it, Lego Technic or something. It was one with the little motors and all the cogs and things. We had a whole term of allegedly science, where you do your sort of your theory of your motor and your model, and then you'd build it, and then you'd record it precisely with little 3D drawings, and it was really cool. I being me, obviously, I built a giant aeroplane out of it. It wouldn't fly because it was made of Lego, but it had spinny propellers and the rudders would move and all that kind of stuff. I loved it. I'm not sure what I learned, but it felt educational at the time.
Well, you'll be surprised what you've learned. And if you think back, there's things like problem solving, creative thinking, lateral thinking, innovation, design, visualization, all of these things which help us in future worlds that we then inhabit in this grand old adventure called business.
Well, I'm sold.
It's becoming more and more mainstream, which is great. More and more people are talking about you can't just abuse them and expect them to work 18 hours a day, 8 days a week in some mythical work week that lasts 8 days, and just sort of hustle. Work life, I call it integration, because you can't have a work-life balance. That involves there having to be one person winning, one person losing, or one situation losing and winning. That doesn't work because you can't ever have balance then, but it's a work-life integration. So our work and our life is integrated, especially if you run your own business or you're a manager or a leader of people. So getting people to just be more heart-centric and people-led and servant leadership type styles. Whereas 5 to 10 years ago when I was talking about this and getting people to think about it, I was definitely kind of given a "you're an absolute nutter" kind of response. Whereas now people are more open to it, and businesses are starting to see that there's actually a bottom line benefit to looking after your people.
Even if you're just constantly churning people and turning them over, there's still a massive cost to that, because you've got to spend time and money finding the replacements and the hiring process. Yeah. You've then got to train them, and then there's how do you even quantify kind of the knowledge that you've lost every time someone walks out the door?
Yeah, having done a bit of work on that, I can tell you that the minimum cost to replace a disengaged employee that leaves is 300% of their salary. Now,
Ouch.
That's playing nice with a couple of the numbers. It's probably in most cases closer to 500, maybe even 800% in really extremely bad situations. Now, if you think about the UK market specifically here, in this example, the average salary is between 32 and 38, depending on which research you look into. So let's call it 35 just for easier maths. That's a casual 100K to replace someone that leaves. And this one is potentially counterintuitive for many people listening, but the exit. Because a lot of businesses absolutely mess up the exit of their people. If you exit somebody the right way and they are leaving for the right reasons, obviously if somebody's being disciplined out, then it's a different kettle of fish. But if a previously productive and really integral part of the team has decided that they need to move for anything from family or geography or career progression reasons that they can't get in the business, and you exit them properly, they leave an advocate. They leave somebody that wants to potentially even send you business because they know what you do, they know the standards you set. It just wasn't the right one for them.
The accidental managers, the ones who are exactly as you say, they're pushed up a role because they're great at their previous job. That's brilliant, and absolutely they should have a route for progression. But either give them a non-people route for progression that's kind of a technical seniority, or put them in the people route and give them training on how to do it.
It seems so simple, doesn't it?
It's just so horribly unfair, though, isn't it? I mean, you can't expect someone to do a job they've never been taught how to do.
Yes.
That happened to me when my first manager job, and I don't know. I think I blagged it all right. Nobody killed me. I survived, so I can't have done that bad of a job. But at the same time, you do feel massively out of your depth when there's no support there for that kind of thing, for leadership training. I know I'm biased, I have to say that, but still, you don't have to be in a management position in order to apply leadership skills. Anyone at any point of the business can do that, and the sooner people learn it, the better for the whole organisation. So,
and when you create a culture of that, then it is significantly easier to do, and you've got a higher adoption rate, and anyone can call anyone out who isn't performing according to the standards that everyone's agreed to, which is where it comes back to values, vision, mission, and culture, which is an integral part of the staff retention process.
Quite difficult, I think, though, if you know that the person is leaving because they're displeased with you or your organisation.
Yes.
And that's trickier to handle, I think.
That is significantly trickier to handle, but it is also an opportunity for you to try and mend a fence or offer the proverbial olive branch as they exit. Because if you were in a position where you're leaving a business because disgruntled for X number of reasons, and somebody just went and held up their hands and went, yeah, we screwed that up, sorry. Like, that is an incredibly powerful moment, and that level of vulnerability may not be recognized in the time of and frustration, but it will be recognized post in reflection. Vulnerability and strength are hand in hand, in my opinion, and some of the best leaders I've ever seen and worked with and worked for and wanted to work with have both of those in high percentages in their world.